No matter how many times I do this, I always feel awkward when I first sit down in front of the camera. I just saw a comment from one of my favorite aunts on my YouTube channel video for my release date of my book, and I almost cried. I'll be okay. So good. The coffee I'm drinking right now is from Green Mountain, and it's called cinnamon sugar cookie. It tastes like an actual cookie, like you're drinking a cookie, and that's like most coffees to me don't taste like that. Like they'll say, oh, it's a caramel something, and it doesn't taste like that at all. This actually tastes like it, so I highly recommend it. Go get it. I have to remember to sit up. No slouching. No slouching. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a long 2 weeks, but we're back. It's getting warmer here in the Midwest, and we're just wanting it to be summer so bad that I'm seeing people in like t-shirts and shorts when it's like 40 degrees. And they're like, this is fine. It's great. The sun's out. I'm like, I'm you know when it's warm, because that's when I'll officially start taking off my winter hat and jacket and not wearing them to work. So I am doing a book review this time. I'm actually doing it on an indie author again, and this one is by far my favorite out of the indie authors I've read so far. It is The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle Jensen. Love it. It is really good, and I will tell you about it. So The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle Jensen is a 2-book series right now. In the back of the second book, it said something about a third book. But given it is an indie author, you never know when that's going to come out, or if, you know, what's going to go on with that. But the duology so far is very good. And she left it off on the second book in a way where if she wanted to, she could end the series there, or she could add to it. It's not a cliffhanger or anything like that. So we follow the story of a girl named Laura who is from childhood raised to be a spy, assassin, killer by her father, who she never saw. Her kingdom is the Merdrina kingdom, and because of a treaty during a war 15 years ago, she is to marry the king of the Bridge Kingdom. The Bridge Kingdom is a kingdom that holds a bridge in between Merdrina, I feel like I'm gonna keep saying it wrong, Merdrina and Harendelle and a few other places. And in order to use the bridge, you have to pay tolls, you have to pay tax, you're heavily guarded, you're not allowed to roam the bridge, and it's very strict. That is where the Bridge Kingdom gets their funds from. They don't really market anything like the other kingdoms. They don't create things. They don't like make crops or anything like that. They toll people and tax people to use this bridge to get across the Tempest Sea, which is safer than taking a ship across because it's very dangerous. She marries this man, and her mission is to destroy the Bridge Kingdom, so then her homeland can take it and use it to transport whatever they want to and get more food, because the rumors are that the Bridge Kingdom is taxing so much that that's why her people are starving, because they tax so much that they can't afford to use the bridge. So she marries this guy. His name is Aaron. She ends up learning a lot more information than she originally learned while growing up, and she has to decide who the true evil is. She finds a lot of information. A lot of things are uncovered to her by her new husband and his guards, and she starts to have feelings for him, so it's hard for her to decide whether or not to continue on her mission, or to save her people, or to destroy her king. She has to make that choice. The series is really good. I really liked it. The setting is like jungle-esque islands, and I really liked that. It was refreshing because a lot of stuff is like forests or castles and stuff like that. And so this was exciting for me. That's all I'll say. If you don't want any spoilers, if you don't care, keep watching. So Laura and Aaron fall in love, of course. That's just how it goes. I mean, they're married now in the book. Oh my god, I loved it. They have some pretty spicy scenes. There's like one or two. They're really good. There was a couple plot twists that I was surprised by. A lot of times I can kind of pick them up before they happen, but there was a few that I was very surprised. The very beginning of the book, there is one where I was like, holy crap, like she did that, and then you find out later that she really didn't, so you're like, oh my god. Her father was sketchy from the beginning to me, so kind of had a feeling about how the things were gonna turn out. I liked how Danielle, the author, was able to summarize certain aspects of the book. Like, as you're reading through the book, there's aspects, because like days, months, and weeks go on for certain like periods of time before something happens. So I like the way that she's able to summarize that without making it feel like either she's putting too much filler in it or she just skipped over it completely and we're just kind of left hanging. I also like the realism of the relationship between Laura and Aaron. When something bad happens between them, I'm not going to say what, but like they're kind of separated for a short time, and there's real growth that happens in the relationship, real pain, and it's not like, oh, I love you no matter what, and it's just like they can do a horrific thing and they're like, oh no, it's fine. Like, it's really good. The last book though felt short to me. I wish she would have filled up a little bit more about like things that happen after certain battles and stuff like that. I do like the, like, it's kind of comes back full circle, because in the first book, Laura is at the training facility in the middle of a desert, and then in the second book, as they're traveling across the land, they revisit this place, and it's kind of nice to have that like full circle. Like, she gets to return and kind of just look at everything and where she grew up and all that stuff. There's a few things that I feel like should have been explained more, but overall I really enjoyed the book. Nothing was super complicated. The storyline was easy to follow, so the details that Danielle does put in certain places, you can really enjoy that more rather than trying to focus on the story. Laura is badass, and I really enjoyed that. The only thing I didn't really care for was she reminded me very much of Aline in Throne of Glass. Like, they're both assassins, they're both thin and athletic, they both have a lot of scars, they both are blonde with blue eyes, both badass, which is like, it's okay. Like, I wasn't like mad at it, like I didn't really notice it until the very end. Yeah, it's just like more representation would be cool, would be good, but you know, what can you say? They are sold on Amazon by the author. I think the first one is like around $10-11, and the second one's like $13 or $14. I would highly recommend them. They are small. The first book is 339 pages, so they are pretty short. The second book is about the same. If you want to look at that, they're about the same. There is pretty good gore in them too, like the scenes that have fighting in them, like it talks about like slitting someone's throat and blood being everywhere, and it talks about like gutting someone. I enjoy that stuff because it's realism, but if you don't, you can just kind of brush over those. But so I highly recommend those, and you should definitely check them out, and I'll have a link in my bio, or a link in my little box underneath with where you can go to buy The Bridge Kingdom. If you are interested in reading the review I have, which is more structured than this, there's pros and cons, and like the overall feel of the book, and some pictures, fan art that I found from the internet. If you're interested in that, you can go on my site, leanorsites.com, and you will find the review on my blog. I feel like this was very quick. I don't know if I'm supposed to add more. This just feels like it was quick, but before we go, I also wanted to talk about that today was the day that I released the date of my book publish, which my book is going to be published on September 1st of this year. I have a video about it, the release date, and then I also have a few posts on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and stuff like that. So it's really exciting for me. Like this morning, I already had a comment on my YouTube video of somebody wishing me luck, and I almost started bawling my eyeballs out because one, it feels so unreal to start getting closer to it. I mean, we are still very far away, but at the same time, I finally get to release the release date, you know, so that's very exciting to me. I've had a lot of people ask me why well, at least my family anyway, asked me why I put it so far into the year. And that's also because I wanted to build up to it. I want to give my book the grand release that it deserves. Even though I tried so hard to get it traditionally published and nobody wanted it, doesn't mean that I don't want it. It doesn't mean that people won't read it. So I'm going to do everything I can in order to make this book the best it can be. And that requires content creating, that requires marketing, that requires a lot of money spent. It requires commission for art and stuff like that. So I'm definitely doing everything I can, and I'm excited to continue these steps forward. If you guys are interested in any more information about my book, you can go to my website at leonorasites.com. Under the books tab, there will be a tab called The Rising, which is the name of my book. You can go there, and there are mood boards, there's a soundtrack, there's a dreamcast, there's some dialogue excerpts from the book. So if you just want to get a feel for it, kind of get some information. On the books tab also, if you go on the books tab, the first book on there, it gives you a blurb of kind of what the book is about. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you want to connect with me on any platform, you can through LF Sites Books or Leonora Sites. You can also check out my website. If you're interested in more of my videos, subscribe, ring the bell. That means that you'll be alerted every time I make new videos. So thank you for all this support, and I am so grateful for you guys, and I appreciate all the love that you give. I will see you guys in 2 weeks, okay? Bye!